A warm welcome to one and all. Dear friends, myself, Dr. Rashmi Joshi Sawalkar, Assistant Professor, Department of Zoology, Shri College of Science, Akola. Today, I am here to deliver my lecture on male reproductive system of Ascaris lumbricoides. Dear friends, in the previous lecture, we have seen the digestive system of Ascaris lumbricoides. Now, today we will see the reproductive system. First, we will study the male reproductive system here, and then afterwards, the female reproductive system of Ascaris lumbricoides. So, let's see. See, phylum Escalminthus. The classification of Ascaris is Kingdom Animalia, phylum Nematoda, class Chromadoria, order Ascaridida, family Ascarididae, genus Ascaris, and species is Lumbricoides, which was invented or discovered by Lynn in 1758. So, dear friends, this is the complete diagram of the reproductive system of Ascaris. So, male reproductive organs in Ascaris are, these are confined to the posterior part of the body and consist of testes, vas deferens, seminal vesicles, ejaculatory duct, and pineal city. These all organs we have studied in the same, that is in the fasciola hepatica also. Now in phylum Escalminthus we are studying here the male reproductive organs. So see, these are confined in the posterior part. In the posterior part means this one. See, this is the posterior part of the male Ascaris. So these are the male reproductive organs here. Now let's see one by one each and every organ of male reproductive system. So, reproductive system of Ascaris lumbricoides. In Ascaris lumbricoides, like other nematodes, sexes are separate. In phylum Ascalminthus, male Ascaris is separate and female Ascaris is separate. It is not a hermaphrodite animal. So, that is dioecious and readily distinguishable externally. Externally, we can identify the male reproductive, the male Ascaris and the female Ascaris that I have explained it in the external features of Ascaris. So now that is sexual dimorphism is well distinct here. The male is smaller in size than the female. Its tail is curved. The male is smaller in size than female and its tail is curved here. See the male Ascaris here. While female's tail is straight. It bears cloaca and a pair of spicules. See here, the blue color structure, it is cloaca, and these two spine-like structures, those are called as pineal spicules. So, pair of spicules or pineal ceti, but female possesses anus and spicules are absent. Male possesses pre and post-anal papillae, which are absent in female. Again here the cloaca is present, the pineal spicules or ceti are present, and pre and post anal papillae are present in male reproductive organs, which are totally absent in female reproductive system. The male system is reduced to the single tube, but the female system is double. So see the diagram here. This is the reproductive system. Blue color structure here, tubular structure. This is cloaca. These black color spines are called as pineal spicules. Now it extends anteriorly. It is the seminal vesicle, which is enlarged and globular tube, which narrows down in a thin tube-like structure, which is supercoiled, which is called as vas deferens. This vas deferens then ends blindly, which gives the structure testes. So, transverse section of vas deferens is shown here. In this transverse section, see the germinal epithelium. The outermost is the basement membrane or outermost membrane, and which is encircled with the germinal epithelium. This germinal epithelium generates or synthesizes the spermatocytes or mature sperms. So this is all about the male reproductive system. Now, male reproductive organs. These are confined to the posterior part of the body. See, these are confined in the posterior part, not in the anterior part. So these are confined in the posterior part of the body and consist of testes. See here, the first structure is testes, which is followed by vas deferens, which is followed by a bulgy globular structure, which is seminal vesicles. This seminal vesicle then followed into the ejaculatory duct and then the Penial city or spicules. So let's see the first organ of reproduction, that is testes. So the testes, it is monoarchic, that is single in Ascaris lumbricoides. In Ascaris lumbricoides, no pair of testes is seen, only a single testis is present. So the animal having a single testis are called as monoarchic. So monoarchic Ascaris lumbricoides, but it may be diarchic also. That is two testes in some nematodes, but not in Ascaris. Okay. However, the testis of Ascaris lumbricoides is a long thread-like coiled tube. See here, it is a long thread-like and a coiled tube. It is the structure of testis. Its wall is composed of a single layer of cuboidal cells being surrounded by the basement membrane. So, transverse section of vas deferens, as I have shown you in the previous structure also, previous slide also. So, the composed of a single layer of cuboidal epithelial cells being surrounded by the basement membrane. Okay, its central axis is solid cytoplasmic rachis. The rachis is surrounded by clusters of amoeboid cells in various stages of their development. In fact, these are developing sperms. So these all are developing sperms which are present inside the lumen of the vas deferens. And this is the outermost basement membrane, and this is the germinal epithelium or cuboidal epithelial cells. Okay. Now see, we'll see the second structure, organ of reproduction, is vas deferens. The testis continues distally into a short and thick coiled tube of the same diameter, the vas deferens. See, the testis continues distally into a short and thick coiled tube of the same diameter, the vas deferens. However, it is distinguished from the testis in possessing a central lumen in place of the solid rachis. Now, the third organ of reproduction in male Ascaris is the seminal vesicle. The vas deferens joins posteriorly with a much thicker, wider, somewhat muscular and straight tube called the seminal vesicle. See, this is the joins posteriorly with a much thicker, wider, somewhat muscular and a straight tube called seminal vesicle. This is the seminal vesicle. It lies below the intestine in the posterior 1/3 of the pseudocele. Pseudocele is the cavity of Ascaris, and below the intestine this seminal vesicle lies in the posterior region. The fourth organ of reproduction is ejaculatory duct. The seminal vesicle narrows at its posterior end to form a short but muscular ejaculatory duct, which opens into the rectum to form the cloaca. The seminal vesicle narrows at the posterior end. See here, at the posterior end it becomes narrower, and a short tubular muscular ejaculatory duct which opens into the rectum to form the cloaca. It opens into the rectal region and which forms a cloaca. This is the outgrowth, blue colored structure. It is outgrowth of cloaca. This duct bears a number of prostatic glands whose secretions help in copulation. Prostatic glands are present over here which secretes a fluid which helps in copulation. The cloaca opens out by cloacal aperture. The opening of cloaca is on the outermost portion at the posterior end is through the cloacal aperture. The another organ of reproduction in male Ascaris are the Penial city. Dorsal to the cloaca is a pair of muscular sacs, the Penial sacs or spicule pouches. The two spicule pouches unite and join the cloaca. At the opening of cloacal aperture, these two Penial spicules are present. The pouches contain a pair of spicules or Penial city, which are cuticular with a cytoplasmic core. The spicules can be protruded and retracted through the cloacal aperture by the action of special sets of protractor and retractor muscles. At the junction of these cloaca or opening of cloacal aperture, the protractor and retractor muscles are present, which helps in the opening and closing of cloacal aperture. They serve in copulation to open the female genital pore and thus help to transfer sperms. Their function is aided by the chitinous plate and Gibbernaculum lying in the wall of the cloaca. This is all about the pineal city and cloacal aperture. This is the transverse section of mature male Ascaris. See the complete diagram, which also comes for 4 marks, that draw a well-labeled diagram of male Ascaris, transverse section of male Ascaris. So you have to draw this diagram and well labeled and label each and every part of this diagram. So see here, this is the outermost covering, which is called as cuticle. These are syncytial epidermis, the green colored layer. Then the cavity, which is false cavity, which is called as pseudocele, and muscular portion of muscular cells, cytoplasmic portion. In between these cells, the lateral longitudinal excretory canal are present on dorsal, posterior and anterior side. On two lateral sides, the lateral nerve cord in lateral line is present. Then testes with spermatocytes are seen here. So this is all about the transverse section of mature male. So you have to draw this diagram for about 4 marks. A short answer question is asked in the examination. So friends, this is all about the male reproductive system of male Ascaris. So see the diagram here. Ascaris lumbricoides, this male reproductive system, A diagram. Then B is the posterior end of most male Ascaris. It is the posterior end whose tail region is curved. These are the pineal city, hook-like structure. This is the cloacal aperture. This is the ejaculatory duct, which opens into the cloaca and which is situated in the rectal region or posterior end of male Ascaris. So this is the curved tail by which we can identify that it is male Ascaris or the female Ascaris. Now the diagram C here, see the diagram C, which shows the spermatocytes. Mature sperms are getting synthesized in this uh, C diagram, which is the vas deferens, transverse section of vas deferens, and in the diagram D here, the mature sperm structure of mature sperm is shown here, which is triangular in uh, shape, and acrosome is seen here. Nucleus is present, and number of mitochondria are seen at the base of the mature sperm here. So this is the single structure of sperm of male Ascaris. This is all about the male reproductive system of Ascaris. So thank you, friends. Thank you.